Listen, I'm not gonna say what I did was responsible. I did what I did, and I'd do it again. American Girl Truly Me dolls were on sale for $75 for Amazon Prime Day, which is, I think, about 110% off. So I bought 8 American Girl dolls in the span of 24 hours. And we're gonna open them all today, and hopefully by the end of this video, I will have done some deep self-reflection because the first step to fixing a problem is blaming everyone around you. Either that or I have a tooth infection that spread to my brain. So hi, welcome back to my channel, I guess. Let's look at some dolls. All right, for real, no joke, they are blocking all of my light. There are so many of them. I am beguiled by a bargain, as Delta Work would say, and I cannot resist a $75 American Girl doll. So I literally bought 8 of them. Now, I did delude myself because I was like, well, I'll just buy... I think I bought 2 to start with, like right when I woke up, because I knew the sale was going to be happening. And then, the day goes on a little bit and you're like, well, there still are a few left, and a lot of them are selling kind of quickly because the deals are limited. Like a lot of times they might only have like a few dozen of these dolls on the sale price, so you have to like snap up the deal because the doll might not sell out, but the deal will. So like they have that little bar on there that says like 10% claim, 20% claim, and you start to see it fill up and you're like, oh god, I'm gonna miss it. So yeah, by the afternoon I had purchased 8 dolls because I was like, well, I can return them if I like have some buyer's remorse or anything. But really at the end of the day, I think I've returned about 2 American Girl dolls in my entire life of the like 13,000 that I've bought. So these are probably here to stay. I'm going to make some customs, but we have a bunch of different ones. I did get some duplicates like I like to do because sometimes you get one that looks a little bit messed up, as we're going to find out very shortly. But I'm just going to shove them all aside really quickly, and we are going to go one by one and take every single one of them out of the box. Also, thanks to Prime Day, I ended up buying a table finally, and it smells like bleach in here because this table arrived covered in dirt in a way that I think it got dirty in the factory. So if I catch some crazy disease by the end of this video, well, at least there'll be more dolls for the rest of you. So we're gonna start with number 128, who is actually, I think she was 3rd on my list of dolls I wanted to buy. So like technically kind of high up there. I was really hoping to purchase number 112 and 113, which are the deep skin Sonali mold dolls, one of them being the only boy doll that I don't have in my collection, whom I have opened on this channel before, but I ended up selling him to a friend. And now that I've decided I want every boy doll ever made, I'm going to buy him again. So he is still missing from the collection, but it's always fun to have something to look for. So one of these days, I mean, realistically, probably at the end of the year sale that American Girl is most likely inevitably going to do, where these dolls will probably, if I had to guess, say be somewhere around $75 to $85 at the end of the year anyway. So if you missed out on the Prime Day sale, you probably have another opportunity to get them before the end of the year. So yeah, anyway, and I guess we have Black Friday coming up. I mean, who am I kidding? I'm probably going to buy another like 40 dolls before the end of the year. But anyway, so this was the doll that was basically number 1 on my list of all the dolls that were available. She had kind of been growing on me more and more as time went on. She is a new Truly Me doll for 2024. They released, I think it was like 5 new dolls back in the spring. And I was so enamored by 127, which is like the number 35 skin tone Josefina with like the really curly hair, whom I think is probably my favorite Truly Me doll that they make right now. I was so enamored with her that I like was just focused on getting her. But now that I have her and she's just kind of chilling and she is one of the gang now, I have really started like setting my eyes on this one because I've been seeing more and more pictures of her on Instagram and YouTube and other places on the internet. She really started to catch my eye. I love her. Oh my god, the reflections are so bad today. I love her feature. Let's just take the box lids off while I'm sitting here like yapping. But I've really grown to love her features, especially like her freckles and like her haircut and everything. So we're gonna end up with like 1,000 of these books as well. I don't even know if libraries want these, but this casualties of being a doll collector. So I ended up purchasing 2 of them, knowing that this was really the one I wanted to be sure to add to my collection in the chaos of all of this. And like I said before, you have the opportunity to return them to Amazon if you really just regret it or you get a bad doll. But as I've said in previous videos, Amazon, at least in my experience, will not swap a doll out for you if you get a bad one. So basically what you have to do is return the doll and get a $75 refund and then purchase another one at full retail price. They will not honor the original sale. So that's why if I am hell bent on adding a doll to my collection from an Amazon Prime sale, I will buy 2 of them so that I have the option to pick the better one, or at least the one that I like the most. And that's what I did with this. Now, Josefina can be a little bit wonky. Like when I say Josefina, I mean her head sculpt. Sometimes dolls will come out with a Popeye or sometimes really weird printing on their heads. So I think I got 2 pretty good dolls. In fact, I ordered so many dolls that they showed up in 3 separate shipments. And the first one, the package arrived and my partner was like, yeah, did you order a cello for Amazon Prime Day? It was seriously the box was so big you could fit our house in it. So only one of my 128s showed up, and it was, I can tell you because I basically can identify these dolls as if they're real people. So it was this one that showed up first, and I thought, all right, I got a pretty good one. And I thought you'll see today, I tried to pre-loosen some of the tabs that hold their arms and legs in because they are so annoying to take out without destroying the box. So this is me checking my hair right now. I'm aware that I look like a ragamuffin on the internet weekly for all of y'all to laugh at, and I'm okay with that at this point. But yeah, this was the first one that arrived, and I almost started taking her out of the box because I was like, oh, she's so good. I cannot imagine the next one being as good as this one. I really, really loved her. And then this one showed up yesterday, and I'm like, oh my God, this is the prettiest and coolest doll I've ever seen in my entire life. I think mainly because her head is just a little bit more round looking than this one, and that's just kind of my personal preference. I really love the newer dolls whose faces are just a little fuller and rounder because they look, every time I do this, I always look over at my Pleasant Company collection, and those dolls just their faces are a little bit fuller than they are now. So I think a wider face looks just a little bit more at home in my collection. So that's typically what I try and aim for. But I do love a doll with a wide set, don't say vagina, don't say vagina, don't say vagina face. So this is the one that I am going to keep. Now that said, these dolls were so cheap that I might actually customize this one possibly into a boy doll, because the only other duplicate I got today is I got a 2 boy dolls with the intent of basically taking their wigs off to make customs with. And I think that this doll I think this would make a really cute boy doll. And I've already started the process of making another mini-me, which I will get into later in this video. But I've really enjoyed putting together custom dolls from official American Girl parts. So yeah, anyway, I probably will keep this one. I don't think we're gonna open her right this second because we have a lot to get through today, and if I really feel like going long, we might even go through the Janie and Jack holiday collection. We'll see if I still have a voice by the time we get there. But yeah, this is the one. We'll go ahead and open her because I know for sure I want to keep her. But yeah, I don't know. This is such a slippery slope, collecting dolls, right? And I'm sure most of you that collect, I would assume the vast majority of you that are watching this video at least have some sort of doll collection. And I would venture to say it started out very innocently, oh, I'm just gonna buy that one doll that I wanted when I was a kid, and then I will move on. And now that the circle is completed, and then here you are diving into a huge pile of dolls every day, and every video and piece of content you consume online has to do with that doll. But that's just a hunch I have. But yeah, it started innocently enough with me. Obviously, when I first started collecting, when I say collecting, the first doll I bought, I literally just wanted to get the Molly doll that I wanted really bad as a kid. And I was going to open it, have a moment, and then put it in a closet to maybe pass down to some random child someday. And within 3 weeks, I think I had 4 more dolls on the way, 5 outfits. It happened quickly. So I think that is the case with a lot of collectors. I've talked to so many of my friends that are like basically eyeball deep in this hobby now, and they're like, it started so innocently and now it's taken over my entire life. But that's just how it goes when you fall in love with something. Like, you know, it's hard to say no, especially when they're on sale and you just like start buying stuff. But so yeah, then it ended up being like, okay, I'm just gonna collect Pleasant Company. I'm gonna get the original collections for the first $3, and then you're like, well, I've started to get all of that, and this is still fun. And you just continue chasing the dragon, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, well now I've got like all the stuff from my childhood era, and like, oh, what about the next thing? I really like Josefina. Then it, you know, that turns into that, and then you start a YouTube channel, and then you're like, well, it's fun to cover new releases. And that started innocently enough. It was just like, and you'll notice if you go back, like I wasn't really buying any of the new stuff, but as much as I liked it and like talking about it and reviewing it, I didn't buy any of it because I was like, I'm already spending like literally thousands of dollars on like Pleasant Company stuff and vintage stuff, and that's the core of my collection. It just didn't make sense to me to buy any of this stuff. And then basically they released the 90s twins, like Nick. I always say Nicabelle and Izzy. I don't know what's wrong. Maybe I really do have that tooth infection that's rotting my brain. But when Isabel and Nikki were released, that basically set off an entire avalanche of me buying new American Girl stuff. I'm not kidding. I bought like one 35th anniversary Molly and one 35th anniversary Samantha, and those were the only like new things from American Girl I bought for like until I guess it was 2023 when they came out. I lose track of the years, but basically years, like I was only doing vintage. And then once that like happened and I started like doing reviews for them on YouTube, I was like, oh, this is really fun. I actually really like new American Girl dolls. Like I didn't, hang on, I'm gonna take a pause just so we can like do like we could. This is my favorite part. I know people like the hairnet, but I always like taking the neck strap off because it usually makes this really loud pop that I like, which is bizarre, I know, but here we go. So anyway, yeah, that like set off this entire chain reaction of me buying things because I was enjoying them. And then you just like, and as many of you probably know, I basically just started getting my hands on any and everything, especially if it was on sale, because that is another problem I have, is I cannot say no to an item that I want that's on sale. Clearly, I have 8 American Girl dolls that I'm opening today. So yeah, here we are now, like years later, and I basically, whether I do this or not will remain to be seen, but I really would kind of like to have every single American Girl doll that they ever made, like literally ever made. Because, spoiler alert for an upcoming video, I actually have 2 of the one-of-a-kind dolls that American Girl officially made and sold. I'm not going to tell you who they are, but I do have 2 of them, and they are very cool. And nobody has seen them on my channel or even my Patreon yet. So I just got a lot of really, really cool stuff. And that's part of my problem, is that when I get one cool, really hard thing to find, then I want to have everything, because it's like, well, now that I've done this, I can make the coolest collection in the world. I can build a museum in my house. And that's essentially what I'm doing. It's like kind of frightening, but fun at the same time. Obviously, like this is a super fun hobby, and I'm a very antisocial person. So I'm not somebody that likes to go out and be in the world, 6 hours a day. I'm like, I would go to a party at my best friend's house and be like, when can I get home and play with my dolls? So yeah, this is what I do with my life now. It's actually super fun, and I'm not even embarrassed of it, clearly, because I'm clowning around on YouTube, acting like a complete freak with my doll collection. So yeah, at this point, I kind of feel like I just want to get all the Truly Me dolls. We will see how we feel at the end of today, because I only have about 5 like official like Mattel era American Girl Truly Me dolls. So we'll see what we feel like maybe at the end of today. But every time I get a doll, I just really fall in love with them. I cannot get over how cute this one is. Let's go ahead and take her hairnet off. I'm doing the new method I learned from other YouTubers, where you basically come back and you find this little knot where like there's a knot in the back of the hairnet where it's like gathered and tightened. If you can get your index finger underneath that, you can basically pull it around. And if you're not paying attention, please look at the screen, because this is probably the only interesting thing that will happen today. Then you just pull your finger around, mess up their hair a tiny bit, and then you can just pull it back, and the hairnet is off. So this is always like the most nerve-wracking part, especially because this one like pulled out a shower drain's worth of hair, which you probably can't even see, but so much hair came out of her head when I did this. But That's very common for dolls with straight hair. It's normal for them to shed. But I was really excited about this doll because I love her hair. I love the color of it. It's basically, it's not quite black. It actually does have some, I don't know if you can see on camera today, but it's basically like, it probably does have some black in it, but it's got like little bits of like brunette. Like American Girl makes really awesome wigs, like with the exception of a few bad ones here and there that they've made over the years. Overall, I think one of the best things about these dolls is their wigs. They just have such great hair play value. They're getting a little bit more, or a little bit better about having some more diversity in their hair textures and stuff. I wish they would take it a little bit further, but their hair, like, honestly, like, feels better than a lot of people's human hair. I mean, especially mine. I mean, I guess I'm lucky to have hair almost 40, but this, I absolutely love American Girl doll hair. It is one of my favorite things about them. And this doll, I was curious to see how full her wig is. It's not insanely full, but if you pull it back in a ponytail, this is a full ponytail. It's not one of those like little like rat tail kind of things. So a really great wig so far. I bet you if we brushed her hair, we probably would get some shedding. Again, totally normal. Like when you see, like it takes a lot of shedding and aggressive brushing over the years to really like make these dolls go bald. But yeah, really great wig right off the bat. And one thing I will say is I think the length on this wig is super great. Now, I do think that I like wigs to be a little bit shorter than the average person. Again, I think it's possibly because I'm an adult that likes to display their dolls, and I don't typically like play with their hair a whole lot. I will try and get it looking good and then just leave it. So I think a lot of people tend to like having longer hair because it has a lot of play value. You can just do more things with it in some cases. I don't know if that's entirely true, but for me, like it gets a certain length. Like if it gets past like their hands, it starts to feel like too unruly and I can't do a whole lot with it. So this to me is like the ideal length for hair on a doll, because if I want to put it in pigtails, I can put it in pigtails. It's long enough, but it's not like so long that I'm like, what do I do with all this? Because like if it's really long, you can't really tie it up. It looks like a little bit not right, like if they have too much hair. But like she can do like a full like Karen Walker like mini bob tied up with a claw clip, and she can, hey honey, what's going on honey? That was terrible. Let me try that again. I'm a rich Republican. Hey honey, what's going on? Why you have so many dolls? What's this about? I'm rich. Okay, that delved a little bit into Fran Drescher, but let's let it slide because I have a lot to do today. So anyway, I really do love the wig on this doll. I think it's everything that I hoped for. It's got a nice wave to it while still being like straight hair. And again, I just think she has really, oh, sorry about that. She has really beautiful features, I have to say. Like just a stunningly gorgeous doll. I have to say, probably to see her in person, I would say she's probably top 5 Truly Me dolls. And as far as ones that I like anyway, she's probably in my top 5, I would have to say, just to see this face. So pretty. And again, I think because she has darker features, I think it's a little bit easier to get away with the printed eyelashes on the, like, both lower and upper, but particularly lower. I don't look at this doll and think she looks particularly, like, let's say haggard. We're going to look at a couple today where I'm like, they really should not have put lower lashes on these dolls, but I really think all in all, I don't have any notes for this doll. She is definitely top 5. I would say her next to 127, I think, are probably 2 of my favorite Truly Me dolls in my entire collection, because I have a new shelf up here. I'll show y'all at some point, but we have new wall shelves now that we built, and now I can fit another 50 American Girl dolls on my wall, so I'm really excited about that. But yeah, this number 128 is so incredibly gorgeous. If we get into the Janie and Jack stuff today, I might put her in Samantha's dress. I think that would be really appropriate for her. I say Samantha's dress, you know the one I'm talking about, the one that they basically combined the Cranberry Party dress from 1986 and Samantha's Be Forever dress into one holiday dress. You know I bought that, so we might put that on her a little bit later, but this is my number 128. I know you're jealous because she is so pretty. Now, again, I'm really glad I bought 2 of these because, I mean, I would have been happy with this one. I still think she looks great. And again, I'm probably going to rip her wig off and make her into a boy doll. But I would have been super happy with her, but it was really nice to have the option to look because, you know, there aren't that many American Girl retail stores, and luckily for now, I'm close to one, but I can't always get down there. So, you know, it is great to like be able to pick between some because again, all of these dolls look just a little bit different to the one next to it. But I have to say, I think you are one of my new favorites. So really, really excited about her. All right, we'll put this one aside. I don't know that I'm going to open her today. We'll see. All right, while we're on the subject of dolls that I will not be opening, I did also purchase number 103 because I love a red-haired doll. Ever since Felicity, I love red-haired people too. I'm so jealous of people that have red hair. It's like, it's just such a beautiful color. I am like red hair adjacent. My beard is a little bit red when it's like in the sunlight because I am Scotch Irish after all. Well, mostly. But yeah, this doll showed up and I was immediately like, Arr, what have they done to your face? So I'm gonna take the box lid off so you can see her. It's not gonna like make her unreturnable, but honestly, like this box got all banged up, and you have to like check the option to like basically have it be shipped in discreet packaging or whatever, because otherwise they're just gonna like slap a shipping label on this box, and you're gonna be so mad when it shows up if you're a person that likes to keep your boxes. But anyway, it doesn't matter. She's going back. I don't care. But look at this doll's face. Are you freaking kidding me? Like, she looks like Droopy the dog or whatever that cartoon character is. Like, I thought I was gonna get like a gorgeous, speaking of Will and Grace, like I thought I was gonna get like a gorgeous like red-haired Deborah Messing doll, but apparently I got Deborah's been messing around with fentanyl. So yeah, we will not be keeping her. Like, her eye sockets are way, 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 way too big for her eyes. And then on top of that, she's got like the clockwork orange makeup on where it's basically like a line. It's like a sunburst around her eye sockets. I would challenge American Girl to maybe revamp this doll. I have seen a few of these before, and I should have known better. I should have bought 2 of these because classic mold can sometimes be a little bit like uneven. They can have like one eye be really open, one really close. I got one with eyes that are way too open, and it might have been better if she didn't have like these insane looking eyelashes like all the way around her eye sockets. But yeah, I am not vibing with this doll. It looks like her face is melting off, so she will be getting returned right back to the Amazon warehouse. And some poor little kid's gonna get this doll for Christmas probably, and I do feel kind of bad about that. But yeah, I have seen a few of these dolls. I don't think that they're all like this, but I have seen a few of them where they are like really, really droopy eyed like this. And that's not to say that like having like larger eyes is bad. Certainly, I mean, a lot of people consider that a desirable feature, but it's really more about like facial harmony at this point. I just don't think that all of these features came together super well. So I think this might actually be a doll that I'm going to have to find in a store so I can actually like sort through and pick through probably 20 of them to find one that looks right for me. But I still don't think, even if I take her eyelashes off, that I'm going to like this doll at all. So this one's definitely going back. I am not a fan, but just maybe take a like close-up look at this and make sure that you're okay with this if you end up buying a doll online. I really don't think there's any way around it though. I feel like you basically get the luck of the draw. So unless you buy like 10 of them and return 9 of them, which again, you're probably going to get banned whatever place you buy them from if you do that. It's really, really hard sometimes just to find good dolls with certain combinations. And I think this is going to be one of them. So this one's going back, and I might try again at the next sale or maybe next time I'm at an American Girl store. But yeah, this one did not make the cut, so she is for sure going back. Alrighty then, I blame Summer McKinney for buying this doll. I wasn't sure about the Nadia head sculpt. I think it's beautiful, but again, it's one of those that really, in my opinion, kind of deviates a little bit too far from looking like an original, like Pleasant Company era American Girl doll. So I typically don't buy ones that have that much of a deviation. But again, I have to say it a million times because people like can misinterpret what I say, especially because I think half of you are like doing chores in the other room. But that's not to say that these dolls aren't beautiful. I think that they are super beautiful, but I am trying to make my collection look somewhat cohesive because as much as I want to have every American Girl doll ever made, that's probably not going to happen. So I want everything to look like really, really beautiful and cohesive. So I have always really liked this doll. I loved the shade of her hair. I I I call her Lib Nanea because she's basically Nanea with blue hair and blue eyes, I guess. So I think I'm going to name her Elizabeth because that hair is one big blue wave. So yeah, we are going to take this one out of the box because now that I have Summer McKinney as part of my Girl of the Year collection, and whom I love, by the way. Some of you are trying to act like I'm trying to like kiss American Girl's butt by saying I love Summer McKinney. Believe me, I'm not trying to kiss their butt. I think at this point there's nothing I can do to get on that PR list after some of the videos I've made. Here's hoping, but yeah, I genuinely love Nanea and Summer McKinney. I think that people didn't get what they wanted for Girl of the Year, and instead of just being like, oh, that sucks, I didn't get what I wanted, they doubled down and said, I hate this doll. But I am really into her. I think she's beautiful, especially now that I've redressed her in my favorite outfit. And I liked her so much that she actually convinced me to get this doll. And again, I'm very glad I did because I think she is super pretty. I think I'm going to have the hardest time in the world dressing her, but we're not going to worry too much about that. She's one I've already actually loosened from the box, but I did save the two best parts for you, which is this and this. So she has super long hair. Again, a length that I kind of complain. Actually, I think it is just short enough to not be obnoxious. So this is what she looks like with her hairnet down. This, honestly, I think is a pretty great wig. I need to run my fingers through it for a second because I'm not the biggest fan of this like wavy curly hair. I think it's just like overused mainly. But I swear this is the one like hair type that I think gets messed up in a way that's really hard to like make look right again. I don't know how to explain it, but it's like sort of like the same like Samantha's hair. Like if I get a Samantha whose hair is like messed up enough, or even maybe just like a little bit messed up, I feel like I have to completely like straighten it out and reset the curls because for whatever reason, like I feel like this is the hairstyle that like has the most obnoxious flyaways. Whereas like curly hair and stuff, I feel like tends to like to wrap around like back on itself and not have as many flyaways. And also like it's meant to look textured. So like you can get away with some flyaways. Whereas like hair like this, I think, is meant to look a lot more silky and smooth. And this really does have a lot of hairs that feel like flyaways, like right out of the box. Nothing that's like terrible, but like, I don't know if you can see here, like this little tendril here at the front. Like you can see how it just, I don't know, these curls aren't like super locked together, but I will say I really do love this hair color. Now, we're going to open another like fantasy hair color doll in just a minute, but one thing I will say is typically if a doll has like blue or pink hair or whatever color it is, I typically prefer them to have brown eyes because I feel like the color of their eyes often clashes with their hair. And again, it's not to say if you have blue eyes, don't dye your hair blue. We're talking specifically like dolls or works of art, things that are meant to be like basically sculptures or something that's like aesthetically like pinned down to the detail. So we're talking dolls here, not people, but I typically prefer them to have eye colors that are so different from their hair color that it doesn't have an opportunity to clash or take away. Again, we're going to look at one in a minute that does that. But I actually think Liv Nanea has a really good eye color for her hair because this hair is really like a warm... It's just the right blue. And again, it doesn't match completely, but these are both warm blues. And I don't feel like her eyes look strange with her hair color. I think she looks really, really great in terms of the colors they've chosen. And I think especially with her hair down, it like really frames her face. So I don't know that I am going to really do anything that different with her hair. We'll see. But I think I'll probably will just leave it down in these loose curls like this because I think it looks beautiful framing her face like this. But yeah, a really, really gorgeous doll that for the longest time, I really had no plans of ever buying this doll, at least not until like the recent past. But I have to say, thanks to Summer, like Nanea has really captured my heart. And now I do have a Nanea, actually I might as well just grab her right here. I do have an original Nanea from like the historical line, obviously. And I've had her for a while. Well, not a while, like weeks, maybe a couple of months. She showed up in a lot of historicals that I bought, and I've always wanted her, again, because I want to get every single historical doll that they ever made. but I haven't really done a whole lot with her just because I don't have anything from her collection at all. And again, sometimes you get like a lot of 6 dolls and one just kind of goes to the side to like to be dealt with later. She is insanely beautiful. This is one from the era, like either, I can't remember what year she was released, but some Naneas do have like the quote unquote bad eyes that they were doing, I think somewhere around 2017, where they really, they weren't good eyes. I'm glad they didn't do them for long, but Nanea is one that actually doesn't look terrible with the bad eyes, but this is one that has like the normal like eyes that we all have come to know and cherish. But yeah, this is my Nanea doll. So this is technically my Elizabeth is my 3rd Nanea head sculpt, and it's happened really fast. But to see this doll in person, finally, I'm really glad I have her. Like I said, I bought 8 dolls thinking like, okay, if I really have buyer's remorse, I can return ones that I'm taking a risk on if I really just don't feel like I'm vibing with them. But I'm vibing with this doll, Libnanea, Elizabeth, Libby, whatever I decide to name her. I am probably going to have a hard time dressing her, but I will say if you're somebody that likes mermaids, this is the doll for you. I kind of feel like they had that in mind when they did her. I feel like Nanea is like the unofficial mermaid of the American Girl range because they used her head sculpt to make Ariel from their Disney line. And this to me is like just as mermaidy to have this like purpley and like almost like ocean blue hair. Like I think this would make a great mermaid doll if you're somebody that loves mermaids and wants to have like sort of a mermaid American Girl doll that isn't Ariel. But yeah, I have to say I think they are doing great things with the Nanea head sculpt, and again, she's just one that I always thought was beautiful but never thought I would put in my collection. But now that I have 3 of them, I gotta say, I kind of want to get the other ones. Like, there's one with deeper skin that I really, really want to get. She has like rainbow hair. Like, I feel like she's definitely like the resident liberal at American Girl. And wow, I just am a little bit stunned again to see her in person because I don't have a ton of experience with the Nanea head sculpt. But I have to say, now that I have her in person, I am such a huge fan. If you have the opportunity, if you're one of those people that doesn't really like Nanea, I would say see her in person first. Even if you're not planning to get her, see her in person and then maybe make that call, because I will say that American Girl does not light her in a flattering way typically when doing product photography. And I know that it can be done because I feel like she looks really pretty in my monitor right now. So I know that it can be done to make her look as beautiful as she actually is in photos. But I have seen some photos of American Girl products, including like their doll photos on their website, where she's just not photographed super flatteringly. But I can tell you, this is one of the most beautiful dolls I have seen in my life. Her facial features are incredibly beautiful. And I can see why they kind of use her as like maybe a doll that they're wanting to appear younger. Again, that was kind of my theory with Summer McKinney, is that they chose Nanea so that Summer would look to be a little bit younger. So she would appeal to younger children because she's targeted at children ages 6 and up. So she does have a very youthful appearance. And even with the painted on lashes on the upper and lower, I don't particularly dislike them on her either. And I don't think that it makes her look terribly like age inappropriate, I guess. But yeah, I have to say, I love this doll so much. And I guess I tend to go on long tears about this, especially if I feel like a doll has maybe gotten an unfair bad rep. Or is it bad rep or bad rap? I think it's rap, but I always feel like it should be bad rep, like reputation. But I feel like she is one that typically goes like unnoticed by adult collectors. And I think, you know, I'm obviously guilty of that too. But anytime that happens and I feel like I have like grossly underestimated a doll, I kind of like will go hard in the other direction because I'm like, y'all, you don't understand. She's so pretty, but I really like her. So I'll stop gushing about her. We have so many more dolls to get to, but this is Libnanea, aka Elizabeth. All right, we have an empty box here, and I'm going to tell you why. Because I did actually purchase some of these with the intention to make customs, which I think I said earlier in this video, but I've been rambling so long I can't remember what I was saying in the beginning. But yeah, so I already like 2 nights ago went ahead and opened up one of the Truly Me 104 dolls because I bought 2 of them and I already had one. So this is my 3rd Truly Me number 104, and they basically have like whittled their boy dolls down to just 2 dolls left. I think number 77 is still available, but like as of right now, there are like fewer than 10 left available for sale. So he will be gone shortly. So This and number one, I can't remember if it's 12 or 13. I think it's number 113. Are the only two boy dolls left in their line. And I am a little bit concerned that we actually might be seeing the boy dolls disappear into the ether because, again, they have sold out all of their previous ones. I know they added two boys in 2021, which is this one and 113. But one of the things that makes me think that they're not going to be doing boy dolls anymore is because the Janie and Jack collection did not get a boy outfit this year. And to me, that is very, very telling. I know we got basically the Olympics, but not the Olympics outfit range earlier this summer. And we did get, I would call it a unisex outfit. Honestly, like you put a girl in it and it's basically like, you know, patriotic juicy couture. But I don't know if I count that as much. I know they put him in the catalog and stuff, but I'm just a little bit concerned that the boy dolls are not selling well enough for them to restock them. And I know like the box on here, is this like an older version of the box? I think it is. So I think, well, I know that this box was produced when, like before American Girl redid their logo, which I think was this year. So that is a little bit telling to me too, that this is old stock and these are probably not selling super duper well. Whereas the newer boxes, like of the newer dolls that I've gotten, now that said, I did just get a Claudie recently that has this. So who knows, they might actually be redoing this, but like this is the original, or not the original, this is the redone logo box that we'll open her in a second. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just a little bit concerned that they're going to be retiring the boy dolls. So I'm trying to snap up at least a few of them so I can use their wigs for custom dolls. Because like I said, if they retire these, like I'm going to have no options for making a boy doll. Unless I do like a $235 create your own doll, which they retire wigs from that all the time as well. So I'm a little bit nervous that we're not going to get like boy wig options. So I'm trying to do what I can while I can. So that's why I bought two more of these. Now I'll go ahead and show you what I did with the first one, because as some of you know, if you're in my Discord or Patreon, you know that I really don't love the mini me that I created. It's like, it's not that it's a bad doll, but it just like, I'm not vibing with it, or him, I guess I should say. So I've been like kind of on a quest to try and figure out what to do to make a doll that I actually really like the looks of, that also can kind of feel like a mini me doll. And I gotta say, now that I'm growing my hair out, I feel like I have a little bit more of an imitatable hairstyle. Now, I did not, and you can't prove this, I did not grow my hair out so I can look like like my mini me doll. But I will say that it is an added benefit. Of many downsides of having long hair. I don't know, maybe some of y'all can convince me in the comments to not shave all of my hair off tonight, but it is getting like kind of annoying. But anyway, let me grab the doll that I'm working on. This is like a phase one of my new mini me. Let me show you. So I decided I was going to try and do one with the Joss head sculpt because it is one of my favorite that they make. Which, ironically, Josefina is one of my favorites that they make, too. And I ultimately think I might actually be a Josefina. So maybe this doll will not even look anything like me. But I thought this was a good start. So what I did was finally take one of my Truly Me number 121s that I got, I want to say, maybe this time last year at the last Prime Day sale. Because I got two of them, and I was going to make like 90s twins with them, and one of the options I was considering was doing like one boy and one girl twin, and they were going to be probably somewhere around like 91 to 94, but you know, things happen, life gets busy, and I actually ripped this one's wig off like ages ago, so I've just had like a bald 121 like floating around for like a year. But I finally got the courage to try and take the wig off of a number 104. And that's what I did the other night. And I actually think he looks really cool. Again, we don't have to like discuss whether or not he looks exactly like me because, hello, I mean, yikes. But I really do think this wig looks pretty good on him. Now, I do need to glue it down still. It's obviously like drawn up in the back, so I need to kind of stretch it over his head and glue it down a little bit. But I'm really happy, at least with how this doll looks. I've taken off the upper and lower eyelashes, which I think really helped a lot, and I swapped the eyes out as well. I actually gave him 104's eyes, and again, this is just going to be a phase one because I guess I'm a little bit more difficult and picky, but I obviously have like 10,000 freckles on my face, and I don't know. It's some of you like always call me out on this. Oh, call me out like this is something like I did that was so bad. But my right eye is like half green, so that makes it kind of difficult to also like do a truly me doll because I have sectoral heterochromia in one of my eyes. So yeah, I might like basically my last mini me I did. I gave him just like an entirely green right eye and a blue left eye. So I might end up doing that with this doll. My other option is to get some older Pleasant Company eyes that I can actually repaint. Because I've never seen anybody do this. And based on the way these eyes look when you take them out of their head, I don't think it's going to be easy, if even possible, to repaint American Girl era, like the current eyes that they're making. They look to be very, very well made because they were like, damn it, we're tired of replacing silver-eyed dolls. So I think they really sat down and figured out how to make it impossible to get paint taken out of their eyes. So I'm going to have to put Pleasant Company eyes from like the 90s in him if I want to try and like paint one eye half green and half blue. That's what ultimately what I want to try and do, but I don't know if I'm going to be successful in it. So for now, he's got blue eyes and probably will wear sunglasses most of the time if I'm honest about it. But I did, in fact, give him some glasses that I customized because I have very similar glasses to these. These are Akira. Some of you ask sometimes when you see these. These are Akira Bailey's sunglasses, and I just popped the lenses out and put clear lenses in them from another set of American Girl glasses because they're all made from the same mold. So you can always like pop the lenses in and out and like swap them out. But you can see we do have similar glasses, even though these are very smudgy and are making me cross-eyed right now. I don't know. I feel like we're getting there. I might need a little bit of a haircut, but one of these days, damn it, I will have a doll that looks like me if it's the last thing I do on this earth. So yeah, that's the progress of my mini-me who's wearing my favorite outfit, plus a necklace that my friend Nadia made for me. Thank you, Nadia, if you're watching. It's perfect for him. I love this little saw. I think it's perfect for his outfit, actually, because he does... I will say he looks like he's cosplaying a contractor, which I think is so perfect for me because I dress kind of grubby, but if you put like a dirty tool in my hand and want me to pick up a piece of splintery wood, like I will be picking them up with my pinchy like index and thumb. Like I'm not a person that really likes to get my hands dirty, I will admit. So I think it's kind of funny that my like mini looks like he's trying to be like all butch and contractory, but he like definitely does not. And I think that is like a hashtag same. So anyway, so this is my new mini that's in progress. I'll show you the one that I have already so you can kind of see the contrast between them, which, spoiler, I actually bought 2 of the JD and Jack sweaters, so I've already taken one out of the package and put it on my mini. But yeah, these are like the 2 minis that I have so far, and like I don't hate either of them. And realistically, I think this one actually does look more like me. I'm not sure. Maybe you can tell me in the comments. I look particularly bedraggled today, but yeah. So I don't know. Maybe I'll have just an army of mini-me's, but I don't know. I just feel like I can't vibe with this doll. I don't know what it is. I think it might be his mouth, actually, in the lip color that they chose for this skin tone on the Create Your Own line. It's really, really orange looking. So I don't know. I do like this doll better, but I don't know. This one might be a little bit more accurate. So that's my current work in progress with the mini-me's. Oh, and also I need to paint freckles on this one too. I mean, like if the doll doesn't have freckles, I don't think it's going to look like me. So yeah, anyway, that's my progress on the mini-me's. Let's hop into the next doll. All right, because I don't want to take one of the 104s out of the box just because it's making a gigantic mess and I don't think it matters to you anyway. Here is my actual 104 that I have as part of my collection because I really do love boy dolls. They are my favorite of like all of the stuff that they make right now, which again, I'm sad. I feel like they're probably just going to discontinue them. But I finally figured out a way to dress my 104 that I really, really like. And so he's been like this for months and probably will just stay like this forever. But I don't think he has a name. I don't always name my dolls. If you want to give me a suggestion in the comments, I'm always happy to take suggestions. But yeah, this is my 104 that I got for, I think, one of my birthday presents last year. I can't remember, but maybe it was a Christmas present. But I've had him for about a year, and he's really, really grown on me. I didn't like him that much at first, but again, a lot of times it really just comes down to figuring out how to dress and accessorize a doll in a way that really complements them, and then you'll fall in love with them. So that's always my suggestion to somebody that feels like they can't, like, quote unquote connect with a doll, is to just try on a million different outfits, try glasses and hats and things like that. And sometimes you end up with a combo where you're just like, oh, I'm obsessed with this doll now. So yeah, again, I think this doll is probably top 5 for me in terms of like American Girl dolls that were released after like year 2000. So yeah, we'll pretend that I just took him out of the box, even though this isn't technically an unboxing. I just, I don't want to take this 104 out in case I end up deciding to return him. But realistically, like I said, I'm trying to hoard these boy wigs because I think it's going to be really fun to take these wigs off and basically make custom boy dolls so I can have like an actual army of them. Oh, another really fun thing I did, just as a quick interlude, because I'm really trying to build like a universe for my boy dolls, like basically like recreate my childhood in doll form in a way. I think that would be really, really fun. And I might even do it with this space back here. I'm not sure, because as much as I would love a dollhouse, it's going to be at least a year, but probably realistically a long time before I actually have the space and resources to do it. So I might actually just kind of make this like a stand-in dollhouse in some of the sections. I don't know. Anyway, so I would really like to make like a room for the boys. I think it would be so fun. And I found the coolest non-doll product that I think makes the coolest accessories for dolls. And that's these Nintendo and Sega themed Hallmark Christmas ornaments that are basically exactly 1/3 scale. I lost my mind when I saw these and I purchased them immediately. I didn't even think about it. I just bought them. So we have like a Super Nintendo, like with the controllers and everything, with a copy of Super Mario World in it, which is most people's favorite Super Nintendo game. That and Zelda Link to the Past are my 2 favorite. But I mean, this was a great console. So we have a Super Nintendo. We have a original Nintendo Entertainment System from the 80s, and just I haven't put the batteries in them yet. They actually play sounds from the original systems, but it has a copy of Mario Brothers in it, and like the flap works. It's just so cool. And then we have a Sega, because we also were really into Sega as well, even though in hindsight, like this was, I think, an inferior gaming system. But yeah, like a 1/3 scale Sega Genesis with, I think this is Sonic 1. Yeah, the first original like Sonic the Hedgehog. And the details on these are great. So if they're still available, check out Hallmark.com. Again, I'm not sponsored. I just obviously just really wanted these. And the scale for them is perfect for the dolls, I think. Because again, I mean, hello. Like that is, to me, like the coolest thing ever. I was so delighted when I got these in person. So anyway, that's your aside of like a random thing that I bought that has brought me an immense amount of joy every time I look at them. All right, let's hop onto Truly Me number 129. And this is the doll I was speaking of when I was talking about a doll that I think could probably use another revision in terms of like the feature combination. I liked her enough to buy her and check her out in person, and I'm pretty sure I'm keeping her. So we'll go ahead and take her out of the box because I think I got a pretty good one, and I think by the time I change her outfits and stuff, I will probably end up appreciate having her. That said, I might end up changing her eyes out, which is a huge dilemma for me because, as you've seen a million times, like I'm incredibly neurotic and I like things to be mint, undamaged, original, first edition, anything that like makes it the most perfect original version of that thing. Like that's what I want. So I don't know. I have been trying to think about the Truly Me line, like New American Girl dolls, as being just for fun. Like I am incredibly serious about my Pleasant Company collection. I am as serious as a heart attack when it comes to Pleasant Company. And I know I joke around and like this is all like silly and stupid, but I think everything in life is silly and stupid, which is why like to me like collecting dolls and making YouTube videos and trying to do that for a living is like no more stupid than like being like a Wall Street mogul. So I just think it's all stupid. So that's why I can joke about anything. But at the end of the day, I take my Pleasant Company collection very seriously. And I've gotten in fights and lost friendships over people like just being jerks about it. But I don't want to get into all that. But I guess that being said, now that I've said that, I never put dolls before people because I've known people that put dolls before people and they're just the worst people and they're no fun. So I don't ever put dolls before people, but I still take them very seriously. So particularly the Pleasant Company collection, because it's just like a really intense thing to collect, and it's really difficult to collect the way that I do, and it requires like a lot of time and like research, and it's very, very intense. And so it has been really fun to just be into American Girl in the way that I think the average person is, where it's just like, oh, I like this thing, so I'm going to buy it and enjoy it. And I'm trying to be that way and not let like my Pleasant Company neuroses like trickle over into the like modern part of my collection, because that was like part of the reason I wanted to get into the modern stuff to begin with, was to have fun. And so that's why I'm like with this doll in particular, and we'll look at her closer when I can get this stupid arm strap off of her, but like it shouldn't be a big deal for me to swap the eyes on this doll. Like, who cares? But I still have that like nagging thing in the back of my head that's like, you're changing something. It's not factory original. It's not how it was intended to be. But like, that's so stupid, right? But it's just like a knee-jerk reaction I have from being terrified to take out like factory braids from like a 1980s Pleasant Company doll. But I need to get over that, because like I said, the whole purpose of all of this was to enjoy these dolls. As somebody that's just, we all have limited time on this planet, and if we take everything so stupid super seriously, like nothing is fun. So yeah, anyway, here you go. Here's a neck pop. It wasn't really a good one. Is that a sign that I'm not going to like this doll? Like, the amount that I like a doll is going to come down to like how loud the neck strap pops when I take it off. So yeah, anyway, I guess that was all to like lead up to the conversation I was starting earlier about dolls that have like these fantasy hair colors, like colors that aren't like natural to a human. I feel like they tend to look better with more like muted eyes, in my personal opinion. Let me grab Nadia, hang on, because we're about to do a comparison. So if she, I was about to say her legs felt a little loose for a second, but I think she's all right. I think she can stand in with women's rights. Am I right? Actually, let me get the hairnet off of this one. I'm going to forget her number a million times. She's the revamped version. There's no way in hell I could tell you the original number for this combo of a doll, but they used to have like a cotton candy hair colored doll that also had like blue eyes, basically, and classic. It was like exactly this doll, but just with different eyebrows and no painted eyelashes. But they revamped her in the same batch that they did the release of 128, 127, like all the newest Truly Me dolls, including the gorgeous 128 that we looked at today. This is number 129. So again, technically a new doll. She's like new, but not new. And I went ahead and snapped her up. She was $75. I'm one of those people, and I think I'm a rare breed of American Girl collector that loves these brightly colored haired wigs, but also really loves like the original Pleasant Company. Because look, this is a far cry from Samantha Parkington. I get it, but both things can be good. Just because I might prefer one to the other doesn't mean I can't like absolutely rave about what a beautiful, gorgeous doll this is, and how like grateful I am to have her as part of my collection. So both things can be true. So anyway, yeah, I'm just one of those people that like really loves both, and I think I am a lot easier on like the designers and the team at American Girl for the decisions they make. Just, trying to be a little bit empathetic that times are different in 2024 than they were in like 1986. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and take her wig off. If you're like mopping the floor or whatever, it's time to look at the screen. Same method as usual. Oh, this one's being stubborn. All right, here we go. Bonk. All right, yeah, again, a gorgeous wig as far as I can tell. Again, not super thick, but I have to say, these wigs can actually get too thick. There are people that make really, really good replacement doll wigs for American Girl dolls that you can like buy and customize dolls yourself. And their wigs are such good quality, they almost don't look like they're American Girl brand, because they're better than American Girls. And that's a testament to actually how good some of those companies are, because American Girl already makes really great quality wigs. But I will say this doll does not have super thick hair, which I'm surprised by, because I know that the biggest criticism of the original version of this doll was that this is one of the dolls that historically has actually had really bad wigs, and I'm not sure why, but the original version of this doll had so many complaints, like especially like in the reviews on their website, like with pictures, that these wigs were really, really thin and shed a lot. So I figured that was one of the reasons they were revamping her, was to like make her wig a lot thicker. But I have to say, it's not a super thick wig. It's not anything that's gonna like make me be like, oh, I can't keep this doll. She sucks now. But I will say, I think she could do with 20% more hair wefts. It does feel like a little bit on the thin side, but if you put it in pigtails, it would be just big enough. But I do really like the color. But okay, so anyway, what I was gonna get into, because again, we were talking about like eye color with their wigs. I think Nadia looks really, really good with the like this blue color because it complements her hair. I think the blue on this doll here, number 129, I think the blue is too cool and deep to like, it just clashes with the really pastel, very, very warm colors in her wig. So here, you go over here, Elizabeth. So you can see here, like this is a very, like even compared to Nadia, her wig is like that much more pastel. This is not the same blue, even though it might kind of show up like that a little bit on camera. This is even more pastel and even more warm. It is a very, very like Caribbean blue, like with a lot of yellow in it. And her eyes, sorry, this is the second time I've done this. So you can see here, her eye color is actually quite a deep, it's still a warm blue, but it's not, I just don't think it complements her hair. In my personal opinion, especially like if you pull her hair back, which that's another, I do think that they've done a really good job on wefting these wigs. I think she does have a little bit of purple in here. This might actually be a similar wig to the one that they do in the Create Your Own generator that's like basically pink, blue, and purple. Because there are some purple wefts in here if you see, but like when you pull her hair back, like she's got a lot of blue hair like underneath, so it can really kind of change how like what color her hair looks to be, like based on how you style it, which I think is really, really cool. But yeah, there's a lot of blue in here. I love this mix of colors. It's really pastel. But yeah, I just think brown eyes would have looked better with this doll because this blue, to me, clashes too much with the blues and these pastels in here. It's a nitpick. I think this doll is still great, and I'm glad I have her. But yeah, I will say, I just think brown would probably have been a better eye color choice for this doll. But yeah, all in all, I don't have a ton of like really bad things to say about her. I really, really vibe with her. I think this is a good classic. I mean, remember the doll, I don't even remember her number, but the one before that we looked at with the red hair and like the insane looking eyes. See how her eyes don't look like they're just so like clockwork orange to open? Like I think they look so much more natural and like peaceful. So I do think that American Girl is capable of doing a good classic mold, although I will say her right eye looks a little bit squintier than her left, but I'm at peace with that. So I will keep her. Now, that said, I can't promise that I won't yank this wig off and put it on another doll just to play around. But that's kind of, I think, another thing I was touching on earlier, too, is like, I think customizing these dolls, like I want to try and give myself permission to do that. And I think it will also kind of help keep me from trying to get every single number that they've ever made, because they've I think are up to almost 30 Truly Me dolls in their like current line right now after the revamp, and they're only going to be adding more. So to avoid like just trying to have every single doll just to have every single doll, I think maybe like prying some of their wigs off and swapping them and swapping eyes out and just trying to make them like the best, or not the best, but like my favorite version of them, I think might allow me to enjoy them and just really truly appreciate every single doll in my collection, because I'll feel like that they are perfect to me. So that's probably what I will end up doing. I really, really love the colors in this wig, and I could honestly, you know, see turning this into a boy doll after I take the wig off. We'll see. But yeah, I would say if you're somebody that likes super thick wigs, you might be a little bit disappointed by this one, but it's not terrible. Like you can see if I pull this back in a ponytail, you know, it's got wave and curls in it that makes it like, it still feels full. She doesn't feel like she has thin hair, especially to look at it. But I will say I'm a little bit disappointed that this doesn't have at least a little bit more hair, but still super cute. All right, we're beginning to lose a little bit of light in here. I've obviously been filming a while, and I film with natural light lately to avoid getting crippling migraines that put me in bed for 2 days. So that's why the lighting on this channel is not exactly what I had hoped for, but I think, we can see things clearly enough as long as I get my ass out of bed and film at a decent hour. But yeah, it's starting to get a little bit dark, so it's probably good that we're on our last doll for the day, but I saved one of my favorites for last. So I was really, really excited to finally get number 106, who is sadly the only Addie head sculpt doll that's in the Truly Me line currently, which is such a bummer because anybody that loves Pleasant Company as much as I do, pretty much, unless they're like some racist dickhead on Facebook, which they do exist, everybody loves Addie. Everybody loves Addie. She is a beloved character, and her head sculpt, they just did such a good job with her, and they have taken care of Addie the entire time. Like I think Addie has never retired, and they've had like different Truly Me and American Girls of Today with her head sculpt. All throughout the years, they never once messed her up. I think that they have done her so right. I have, like I say all the time, I have never seen an ugly Addie, and so it's a little bit of a bummer to me that it seems like that they don't use her as much as they could. Again, I know that they have the market research to know what's popular and what's selling. Maybe she's just not as popular with younger children. I feel like when they do like the deeper skin tones, they tend to like go for like Sonali and Josefina more often. So I do feel grateful that we at least have one in the line that uses her head sculpt, but my God, is she not so incredibly adorable? Now, this was, I think, probably my second most, behind number 128. This was the doll that I purchased that I was really, really, really excited about. I wanted to, knew for sure that I wanted to add her to my collection. And the funny thing is, as I stand by, I've never seen an ugly Addie to the point where I didn't even buy two of them. I bought one knowing that whichever one showed up was going to be incredibly gorgeous and not messed up looking. And was I right or was I right? This doll is so incredibly beautiful. You can see her in the box, but I've already loosened her up out of her like hand and leg straps, so I can get her out pretty quickly. So let me go ahead and take her neck strap off. And that was a good pop, so we know this is going to be a good doll. But yeah, I saved her for last because I'm just really, really excited for her. And I have a special place for Addie in my heart. And this doll has very similar features to Addie because they use the same head sculpt, which has, I will say, they have changed Addie's head a lot over the years. I know a lot of people think that that they didn't do anything to her, but they have actually changed her quite a bit. They just didn't mess her up ever. And I think that's why people forget that she has actually changed quite a bit. But a lot of times we talk about Classic, and sometimes maybe, I mean, not even Josefina. Classic is the one that gets like really like roasted a lot because they have made many sweeping changes to that. I mean, we're talking like from the beginning. Classic mold, they started changing in 1987, and they have changed it consistently for the last almost 40 years. And I've seen a lot of really bad iterations of Classic, unfortunately. And I'm looking at you, Pleasant, Roland. Like, there were some changes that were made in the 90s to Classic where I'm like, what were y'all doing? Like, were y'all that busy that you were just like, whatever you can make, like, send it out? But I think they've, like, the current Classic is not as like egregious as some of the early ones. I think it still could be improved, but it is a lot better than it used to be. And it's better than some of the ones from the 90s. So one of these days, maybe we'll get there. But anyway, so I don't know what I was rambling about. I'm going to go ahead and take her hairnet off because I do want to get, if I can get to her easily, I'm going to get my first edition Addie doll so you can see how truly different they made some of these dolls. Like as far as like Addie is concerned, they really did vary her a lot. So here's the hairnet coming off. Pay attention. Wake up. Be careful because she has curly hair. Oh, she's so pretty. I love this doll so much. Her curls are really, really tight. And I think there's... Y'all, I don't think I've ever gotten an American Girl doll with product in her hair before. This is so interesting. This doll has product. Now, this might not actually be the first, but I can really feel that this doll has gel in her hair. There's some sort of product in here that is holding these curls together. I will say, she looks gorgeous. Like, we will say right off the bat, she looks gorgeous. I'm about to say this, and I'm going to take it back, probably, but I wish we had gotten slightly different hair for her. I feel like they tend to default, like if a doll has like the 35 skin tone, which is the deepest tone that they make in their line currently, I think they could go a little bit deeper. I would love to see what 40 would look like, but they will often use this hair type for black dolls, but not always. That isn't every single time, but I do feel like they tend to overuse this curl type for their black dolls. So I do wish we had something a little bit more unique. I think it would have helped this doll sell a little bit better. I think it's number 112 that has like really finely textured hair. I don't know if that's how you describe it, but her curls are really, really tight and they're very, very textured. You can do like a million different things with her. And I think she has a really great wig, but I would have loved it if we could have seen something in a similar fashion with this head sculpt and, you know, obviously like a different hair color and a different hair texture, but something that is a little bit more different than this type of curl. I mean, I'm not going to say it's ugly by any means, but I feel like they really tend to overuse this wig, which is why one of the things I'm considering doing is taking, I don't know if I'll do this or not, because I don't know if I will like her better if I do, but taking my duplicate of this, of 128 and trying her wig on this, on, on my Addie, Truly Me. I'm not sure. She's so pretty. It's going to be really hard to take this wig off, so I might not actually do that. But that was kind of what I was thinking, is maybe trying a different wig on this doll, just because there are so many black dolls that have very, very similar wigs, like Claudie and the new, like the holiday dolls. So yeah, I was thinking about trying something a little bit different, but I don't know. We'll see. She might end up staying the same. But well, it looks like egg is on my face because, hi, it's me, Jonathan from the future. And I actually went back to fact check all the stuff that I just said because, look, I sit down with a very loose plan when I make these videos. So a lot of times like stuff comes flying out of my mouth and I'm like, I'll fact check that later. And most of the time it's right, but every once in a while I'm like, oh yeah, that was like a complete bonehead thing to say. So I basically take back everything I just said, and I could go edit it out, but honestly at this point I'm A, lazy, and B, I don't know how I'm going to chop this up, and plus I've got like a headache clenching on for today. So you're just getting the like apology video within the video essentially. But yeah, I take it back. I went back and looked at the Truly Me line, like all the way back through the original Girl of Today, like American Girl of Today from like 1995, and there is like more than I'm giving them credit for, like much more diversity in the hairstyle, like particularly for like Addie's head sculpt. Again, I don't want to like turn this into a whole like, oh, here's everything that's like problematic with American Girl, but at the end of the day, like I think I was a little bit more harsh than I should have been about hair types, because even just like looking at the current offering in the Truly Me line with dolls that have like number 30 and number 35 skin tone, they are not doing the same thing for every single one of them. It actually is more diverse than I remembered it being, and I guess that's also like the danger of getting like too far down the rabbit hole in some of these cultures. Again, I'm super guilty of this because I like live and breathe American Girl. So sometimes, you just start like getting into a culture of almost like misinformation sometimes, because you can like things can just get exaggerated and like build and build and build and build. And I guess that's why I wanted to hop in here and say like, okay, yeah, the hair thing was not as bad as I made it out to be. Honestly, again, like there are lots of different curl types and stuff. Again, I still think that there's room for like added diversity. I'm not saying like, okay, everything's great, let's just move on. But I will say like I was a little bit harsher than I should have been. And after having like this doll out of the box for like a day and looking at her, I'm like, oh yeah, she actually does look more different than the other Addie head sculpt dolls that I have, because I have all the ones from the American Girl Today line, like number 1, 11, and both versions of number 18. None of them have this hair type. So like to actually look at all my Addie head sculpt dolls, I think this is the only one that has this hair type. So yeah, I just like was completely out of pocket on this one. So yeah, we'll resume the rest of the video. But yeah, I just felt like it was important to come in and clarify this, just because yeah, I sounded like a complete idiot for the last 5 minutes. So anyway, I hope you're enjoying the video. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not subscribed already. I would really love to get to 10,000 subscribers next year, and I think we just hit 6,000. So yeah, if you could help me out and subscribe. I know a lot of people watch these videos and aren't subscribed, but it really would mean a lot to me if you could subscribe and like the video. If you've made it this far, I feel like, you know, maybe you could hit the like button too. So anyway, back to me in the past. Let's continue looking at dolls. Let me grab my first edition Addie so you can kind of get a look at the differences in their head sculpts, so you can see like truly how different these dolls have been like evolving to over the years. One second. All right, she's a little dusty, but we're not going to worry about it. But you can see here like how incredibly different these head sculpts look. You can look at like the eye size and shape. Certainly, I mean, it's, even though it's partial credit, like they have definitely put a lot more like face paint on the Truly Me version of, I guess the Truly Me version of Addie is the only one that they do have with her head sculpt. But this is actually one of the reasons I wanted her, because they did like, they obviously put like a less natural lip color. She actually looks like she might have some tinted lip gloss or something on. Certainly like more cheek color. Although this doll could have faded a little bit over the years, but you can see how incredibly different these dolls look to each other. And so I think it is a little bit of a fallacy that they never changed Addie much at all over the years. I think these dolls look incredibly different. And, you know, again, I'm okay with that. I don't want the same thing over and over. I actually do like when things evolve and change over the years, because it gives me something new to buy. I'm not buying the same thing over and over. So that's why I was like extra excited about this doll, because I knew they had done different things with like her eyebrows and her like face up and everything. So, and I'll say this is another one that I don't dislike the lower lashes on. I actually think they look good on her, and she also has really great eyebrows. Hopefully this is focused enough that you can see it, but I do think that it gave this doll really, really great eyebrows. So let me go put Addie back. This is one of 3 first edition Addies I have. You're going to be seeing 2 of them in a video that might actually be coming out next week, but very, very soon we are going through, well, part of my Addie collection. After I made the video, I got a bunch more Addie stuff, and my Addie collection is looking really good lately. So you have that to look forward to very, very soon, but let me go put her back for now, and we will focus on this one. So yeah, I got like 8 dolls today. I mean, I guess technically not. I mean, I got 8, but I'm probably not keeping 8 and keeping them in their original condition. So I think I probably had like 4 or 5 today maybe that need names, and so I'm always open to suggestions. But I have to say, like, again, I'm really glad I added this one to my collection. She has the Addie head sculpt, but she really doesn't look a ton like the other Addie head sculpt dolls, which I think is really exciting. If you have, actually more so than name suggestions, I'm really curious about wig suggestions. I think if I can get this one off cleanly, I might go ahead and take it off and try some different things on her. I would love to see her with bangs, because one of my favorite American Girl dolls of all time is she's number 18, but the second version of her that they gave like basically a micro bang. Absolutely love her. So I actually considered giving her Melody's wig, but I don't want to just like make another 18. So I would love some suggestions on maybe wig swaps for this doll, because like I said, I just want to like give her a different look. I really like her, and I kind of want to just have an excuse to like play around with these dolls and really try and make like my most favorite ideal version of them. So let me know in the comments. Oh my god. I had no idea Elizabeth was just like literally passed out in the corner of this video, and honestly I feel like this is my fate in the next few minutes. So I want to say thank you again for hanging out with me today. I know this video was long, but we had a lot to get through. I also want to remind you that this channel is almost completely viewer funded by my friends on Patreon that you can check out with the link in the description. There are hours and hours and hours of extra American Girl content on my Patreon that you can't see anywhere else on the internet, and it's the best thing you can do to help support my channel so I can continue making videos, because YouTube doesn't pay me boo diddly squat. You can also find me on Instagram and TikTok by clicking the links in below. Be sure to be on the lookout for my new podcast that is getting announced very, very soon. So be sure you subscribe to the channel so you are one of the first people to find out when it's launching and how to listen and watch along. But for now, if you want to keep watching videos on YouTube, I have ones like this one right here that I think you might enjoy. So I hope to see you there. All right, take care. See you later. Bye.